Adonai roi lo echsar, bino deshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yenahaleni nafshi yeshovev, yancheni v'maglei tzedek leman shemo. Gam ki elech begeitz ha'mavet lo irara, ki ata imadi. Shivtecha umishantecha hema yenachamuni. Taroch lefanai shulchan neged sorai. Dishanta Vashem en Roshi, Kosi Rivaya. Ach tov chesed yirdefuni kol yemei chayai, v'shavti beveit Adonai leorech yamim. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters and restores my soul. He guides me on the right path, for that is his nature. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord, the house of God, forever. I want to thank all of you for coming, for being here today as we remember, we honor, and we say our final goodbye to Len Weinberg, and for being here to join your hearts together with those in Len's family who are in grieving, who are in mourning. Young or old, those who depart this life never see enough of the world. They never complete their task. They never cherish their loved ones enough. How we yearn for them to be close to us for yet another challenge in our lives, yet another joy, yet another precious moment together. We call on God and we ask, God, be now with those whose hearts are broken, because whenever parting comes, it comes too soon. Console those who mourn at this moment. Be near to them when light seems distant. Sustain them, God, until the time of healing. Our sages teach us death is better than a life of pain, and eternal rest is better than a constant sickness. Let us not seek to understand what's too difficult for us, nor search for what is beyond, nor be preoccupied with what is beyond, for we have been shown more than we can comprehend. As a drop of water in the sea, as a grain of sand on the shore, are our few days in eternity. The good things in life last for a short time. Wealth, health, even life passes away. But a good name, a good reputation endures forever. Len Weinberg was born May 20th, 1934 in Winnipeg. He died Monday night, September the 24th, 2018, on the Hebrew calendar, the 16th day of the month of Tishrei in the year 5779. He was 84 years old. When he was born in 1934, he was born to Harry and Hansi Weinberg, joining their family following older sister Shifra. His parents were immigrants from Russia. They grew up in the North End on Anderson near Salter. When he was born, he was given the name Abraham Lionel. Avraham Label. But his mother called him Len. And that's how many people knew him. Len, or maybe Lenny. As a child, he had difficulty learning to read in school. Didn't learn to read from his teachers. Instead, he learned to read from his dad, Harry, who would sit in a chair and balance young Len on his lap. Years later, Len kept that chair and always credited his dad because he didn't just learn to read, he loved to read. And from his father developed a true love of reading everything he could get his hands on. The definition of a voracious reader. Any subject, every subject. And when he ran out of books and magazines and the traditional things to read, he would read cereal boxes. He would read TV guides. He would go through TV guides and highlight all the shows he wasn't going to watch. He was the son of Harry and Chansi. He was the brother of Shifra and her husband Alex. He was the father of Lloyd, of Gary and his wife Asha, of Shoshana and her husband Jack. They remember that as a dad, he was approachable, always there for you, no question about that. And in fact, would let you see his vulnerabilities. Worked hard. Len's work ethic was one of his defining characteristics. But he was still an active dad. Never missed a family dinner, even if he was headed back to the office after. And especially loved sharing his love of nature with his kids. Taking the kids camping, canoeing at the cottage at West Hawk Lake. He insisted everyone learn to swim and was active in taking them to all their swimming lessons. As a dad, he was also surprisingly handy if the problem was mechanical. If it was electrical, he had no hope. And later in life was incredibly computer and tech savvy. But as a dad, his love was truly unconditional. It was never demanding. He never berated his kids with guilt trips, and very rarely would he even butt in or volunteer his opinion. Maybe once in a while he'd make a suggestion. But what was undeniable was that he was always there, always. And more than just his children, his doors, the family doors, were open to all of his kids' friends, especially at the cottage, but also at home. He was married to Leah Weinberg. Later on, he was married, and when he died, was married to Addie Jason. And when he met and then later married Addie, he also inherited and became father to her two sons, Doug and Todd. To all of the kids, he instilled his work ethic, that he prized education, making choices of intelligence. He was proud but never vocal. He actually first met Addie when he was just a law student, working at the firm Walsh McKay. She was a paralegal. In fact, the joke is that Len learned everything he knew about real estate law from Addie. After that, they would go for lunch once a year, staying in touch. When Len and Leah's marriage was ending, Len and Addie reconnected. He looked to her as a guiding light, someone he knew had been through loss and tragedy in her own life and could maybe show him the key to just surviving. But from that, they just got along so well. Sure, they had differences of opinions all the time, but never once did they fight, never once an argument. After years of being called his girlfriend, Addie finally said, "This is ridiculous. I'm not a girl." And so they got married, a simple ceremony in her apartment. They shared so much together, were madly in love, and even very recently could be spotted walking hand in hand through the Winnipeg Concourse. Even very recently. In addition to being a father, Len Weinberg was a grandfather of Maya and Amit, of Hannah, Meyer, and Jacob, of Brianna. If you were to sum up the things that he loved in life, it's simple. He loved work. He loved family. He loved spending time with Addie. He was a simple man with simple tastes, never flashy, never had interest in sports, never had interest in cars. He was too practical to buy a luxurious car. Every car he ever owned was secondhand, often very practical. Where he saw value was in family and in good food, and, as you'll hear later, in the cottage. He loved music, classical music, opera, jazz music. In the 60s, he may have actually been influenced a little bit by the beatnik lifestyle. He was liberal and open-minded. He valued the community he was a part of, the Jewish community, the legal community. All who knew him as someone who was friendly to all. His kids will tell you that going for lunch with Len Weinberg was an experience, because you never actually got to talk to Len if you went for lunch with him. He was too busy shaking the hand of everybody who would stop him, who would be passing by his table, thanking him for once upon a time getting him off for some charges. He took pride in the work he did and the respect that he had earned from the community. And he was funny. Always an upbeat guy. If Len were stressed or feeling a little down, you never saw it. He had a great sense of humor, especially if you like puns. Oh, and he reminded people that it's not only not bad to laugh at your own jokes, it's encouraged to laugh at your own jokes. Many people here will know Len Weinberg as a lawyer. Called to the bar in 1960, practiced law for over 50 years. Even a few weeks ago was working at the office. What's funny is, if Len had had his way, he would have gone into archaeology. But again, too practical. He knew he had to make a living. So he just decided one day, I guess I'll go to law school. And it was there that he fell in love with law and the practice of the law. Over the 50-plus years as a lawyer, he touched on all the fields of law, working his way through criminal, family, real estate, intellectual property, and probably most famously, corporate commercial law. He loved the puzzles, each new case, each new situation, each new puzzle for him to solve. Work for Len Weinberg was his temple, his sanctuary. He felt alive when he was at work, because that was where he could make his contribution to the world. A true father of his generation, a product of the Winnipeg Jewish North End he grew up in, and where he made his home, where he raised his kids. He saw himself as a provider. He wanted to take care of people. He wanted to help people. Like his Hebrew name, Avraham, the first father, the prototypical father, always wanted to be providing. He was very bright, but also easily bored. So he would dive into new topics, absorb everything he possibly could, and then move on. Most impressively, among the legal community, he was known for his open-door policy. No matter what, if a fellow lawyer called on him for advice or with a simple question, Len always made time for him or for her. They knew him to be honest, a straight shooter, never cutting corners. Everything he did was always above board. Perhaps what you could say about him, about Len Weinberg, when it comes to his work, is the greatest compliment. He was a lawyer's lawyer. And when it came to Judaism, didn't describe himself as a religious person. Probably too practical again for that. But deeply respectful of other people's choices and of rituals, culture, and tradition. He especially loved embracing life cycle events. Some people may not know, but in the 1970s, he was a builder and founder and later a president of the Reform congregation Temple Shalom. This is just the outline of the man who was Len Weinberg. It is my honor to call up his children, Shoshana, Gary, and Lloyd. Gary will share some remarks on his dad, and Lloyd as well has something he would like to share to honor their father.
would like to thank all of you for coming today to honor our father, Len Weinberg. Len died peacefully after 18 months of unfortunately poor health and a fight for survival that was simply amazing. But no one can fight forever, and to our eternal sadness, he was gone, but never forgotten. His formal name was Abraham Lionel Weinberg, but of course who he was Len Weinberg, or Lenny, depending on the era you knew him in. He was a Jew of the north end of Winnipeg, part of the first generation of his family to be born in Canada, his parents having been born in Russia. Like so many of that time and place, he attended the legendary St. John's High School. He became a lawyer, he became a father, and on 2 separate occasions, he became a husband. My dad was a man of his generation, as the rabbi mentioned. He viewed himself as a provider for his family. He threw himself into his work. He made sure he was home every night for dinner. We remember running down the hallway to his embrace as he jumped into his arms literally every day. Very wonderful memory. But at least 3 nights a week and every Saturday morning, he went back to work. He was rightly proud of the family he raised, but he always acknowledged a debt of gratitude to my mother for the support she gave his career and life in those days. And those days moved on, and other chapters in his life opened up, and he met Addie Jason, and the rest was history. A real love story based on mutual respect, tolerance, and a shared love of law, family, and an almost maniacal devotion to work. Through Addie, I gained new brothers, and my friends learned the joy of pinching pierogies at the lake while feasting on Len's love of barbecuing. The lake. My dad bought a cottage at West Hulk Lake, and he loved it there. It was the one place that I think he felt truly calm and relaxed, because he could never get bored. What with reading and eating and snoozing and puttering, it was his place. And he made sure it was our place. The cottage was a memory maker, like a memory factory like no other. A fun place Len wanted to share with so many, which is why so many of his kids' friends are here too. He knew our friends, he fed them, he relished it all, and was a great host always. One of my dad's happiest things in life really was to work. He really, really enjoyed what he did. The constant thinking and creativity that was required prevented him from ever getting bored, which was one of his biggest frustrations or annoyances in life. He never wanted to retire, and he never did. He dies undefeated by retirement, which is what he truly wanted. Up until 2 weeks ago, he was still going into the office. And no word of a lie, his role model for retirement was apparently Harry Walsh, who, according to my dad, was in his office in the morning and dead in the afternoon. That was my dad's ideal way to wrap it up. I will miss my dad so much. He was a good man. He was really the least malevolent person I've ever met. He taught me so much, how to read the news, how to learn stuff, be aware of the world. You really could talk to him about anything. He always had a new kitchen gadget, frying pan, second Weber barbecue. He loved making horrible puns. He was an early adopter of technology who never stopped being frustrated by technology, and he was still swearing at his computer up to 2 weeks ago as well. His love was truly infinite for his kids. No bigger supporter could one ask for, and I will never stop hearing the instantly happy and upbeat way he would answer the phone whenever I called. So many memories, so much love. The depths of sadness we feel is because of the heights of joy he gave us. As his family, we witnessed his struggles these past 18 months. And we came to appreciate that despite our best intentions or expressed advice, he was going to live life the way he wanted to. And he did. My dad had a good life. His love and his spirit will live on forever in us. Thank you very much.
We do thank you for joining us in gathering today and honoring Len. And forgive me if I can't look at you just now, but this is something off my chest. It's a hug and a kiss and a little of this. It's okay. It's all right. Gently, gently. calm and relaxed. It's okay, Len. It's all right. Just listen to my voice. Follow my words. Calm and relaxed. Calm and relaxed. It's okay. It's all right. Gently, gently. Calm and relaxed. It's okay, Pop. It's all right. Listen to my voice. Follow my words. Calm and relaxed. Calm and relaxed. Thoughts come and they float away. Good thoughts come and stay. They stay. And you will only do what you can do. And I will do what only I can do. And we'll do it together. Yeah. And then we'll go home. You will do what only you can do. And I will do what only I can do. And we'll do it together. Yeah. And then we'll go home. It's okay, buddy. It's all right. Gently, gently, calm and relaxed, calm and relaxed. You will do what only you can do. I will do what only I can do. We'll do it together. Yeah. And then we'll go home. Yeah. And now we go home, Pops. Now we go home.
Thank you, Lloyd, Gary, Shoshana. I will admit that I didn't know Len Weinberg. I wish I did. Meeting with his family, talking with Addie, talking with his kids, hearing the stories that you've heard today, and I'm sure there are so many stories we didn't cover. They paint the picture of a tremendous, a remarkable man. One thing that I was left with when we talked yesterday, the family and I, was that repeatedly towards the end, Len kept saying, I don't know how to say goodbye. So we'll say goodbye, Len. And we'll thank you for everything you showed us and everything you've taught us. In this city, when you put the word Myers in front of Weinberg, I know it's not what it's called anymore, but for everyone, you still get a combination synonymous with law, with high quality, with professionalism. It's a testament to his work ethic, his ambition, his devotion, and his true love of the practice of law. But when you put the word Len in front of Weinberg, you get a combination synonymous with kindness, fairness, honesty, and decency, in work and in life. You get the highest quality of being a mensch. With that in mind, I invite you to rise for the El Malei Rachamim prayer. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Meromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShchina. B'malot kedoshim uteorim, kezohar arakia, mazhirim et nishmat Avraham Lebo ben Hirsch v'Chana she'alach le'olamo began Eden tehei menuchato Anabal harachamim Hastireu beseter knafecha leolamim Utzeror bitzeror achaim enishmato Adonai hu nachalato V'yanuach b'shalom Hamishkavo V'nomar Amen. El Malei Rachamim, exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Len Weinberg, who has gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Our rabbis teach that there are 3 crowns in Jewish tradition. First, the crown of Torah. Second, the crown of priesthood. And thirdly, the crown of loyalty. But they emphasize that the crown of a good name excels them all. Len, we hope we have done justice to the good name you worked so hard to have throughout your life. Our ceremony will continue with interment at the Shered Zedek Memorial Park, 230 Armstrong Avenue. We will be traveling together in caravan fashion from the synagogue. If you join us, we encourage you to put your 4-way flashers on, to be mindful that we still stop for red lights. Our usual route is up Sherbrooke to Logan, over to the Salter Bridge, up Salter to Armstrong. If you choose to wait here at the synagogue, it's usually about 90 minutes from when we leave to when we're back for the meal of consolation, which will be here after our visit to the cemetery. The purpose of our funeral ceremony is to offer the highest respect to Len, to pay tribute to him, and to accompany him to his final resting place. That is why, when we finish, we'll invite the pallbearers and the family to leave through the chapel. You'll know it's your cue to leave when the doors are open at the back. And then we ask you to form 2 rows on the stairs of the synagogue. 2 rows of family, friends, and community through which the casket can pass, as we literally accompany Len to his final spot. We are in the week-long period of the festival of Sukkot, which is a unique time during the Hebrew calendar, and as a result, there is no formal Shiva. Our tradition dictates that Shiva does not take place during a festival. But it is my understanding that Len's family will be coming to Shered Zedek for daily prayer services, and we'll be spending a lot of time together over the next few days at 380 Wellington Crescent on the main floor in the activity room. I would again like to thank all of you for coming, for paying your respect, for comforting those who are in mourning. And to those who mourn, we say, as our tradition dictates, Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch she'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you and all who mourn, among all those who have and who do mourn in Zion and in Jerusalem. At this time, I invite the family and pallbearers to exit through the chapel. We'll be opening the doors at the back of the sanctuary in just a few moments, and then we'll be making our way to the cemetery. Thank you again, everyone.